When we think about the term cycle breaker, it's being able to recognize that, and I just had brunch with a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, who said, um, it's not generational curses you're trying to break, it's in generational um, trauma, right?
Yeah.
The trauma wounds. It's you saying, it's it's someone saying, just because this happened to this person, this person, this person, doesn't mean it stops here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And full stop. And that means also literally like undoing the work,
Mm-hmm.
rewiring the brain,
Yep.
reestablishing a sense of clarity
Mm.
and connectedness to self, um, unapologetically.
Mm. Love that. Welcome to Sensitive Stories. This episode is for educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for treatment with a mental health or medical professional. Let's dive in. Angelique, I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. This is
Thank
really
you.
exciting. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, I'm happy to be here. Yes.
Me too. So excited to talk with you. And I wonder if we could start off where we start off every episode, which is looking at your HSP discovery story. I'd love to hear how or when you realize that you're highly sensitive.
What a great question. So, how did I discover being an HSP? It all started in high school when, like many of us, we want to know, who are we? What are we? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I would take a lot of personality tests. I was 15, 16, like, what am I? And I'm like, is my introvert, extrovert? Like, that was very big MBTI, the
Yep.
Myers-Briggs. And along the way, I noticed, like, I've always heard the term, you're very sensitive
Yeah.
as well, but as more of a deficit,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
And so, but that would keep coming up in my personality tests or having sensitivity towards, um, just my thought process and my
Hmm.
emotions. And
Yeah.
and it wasn't until I was about 28, so about 6, 7 years ago, I just said, wait, there's this thing called HS, highly sensitive empath.
Uh-huh.
Instagram, everyone was
Yep.
talking about it, and I'm like, I think that's me. So that's kind of my
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, it's true. You have this awareness before you have the term.
Hmm.
And there's that seeking. I resonate with that so much. Like, what's different about me? Why am I so
Hmm.
sensitive?
Hmm.
You're seeking, right? And trying to figure it
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
And I've heard that word too a lot. Deficit or difference or
Different.
yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
wrong, too
Wrong.
much,
Hmm. All the
toughen up, thick
labels.
skin. I'm like, okay, but what about just feeling the vibes in the room?
Yeah.
That's a strength, picking up on the things that no one can feel and see.
Hmm. It's a huge strength, right? I don't think
Hmm.
people realize the benefit of that. I think they take advantage of the benefits
Yes,
without actually realizing what's happening. They
that's
love
true.
our
Yeah,
emotional connection and empathy. They love all that part. Unless it's until it gets maybe inconvenient for them.
correct. Man,
Yeah.
you're on it.
It's like this part is like, oh, there's so many beautiful overlaps
Yes, yes, that's
with
right.
whoever I talk to. And I don't know, it's just really beautiful to see like, oh, we all have somewhat similar roots or journey. Yeah. So, I wonder if we could dive in a little bit more deeply. You mentioned your emotional sensitivity. I'm wondering how your
Yeah,
upbringing, your cultural upbringing,
yeah,
has
absolutely.
shaped that. Shaped your identity as an HSP.
Absolutely. So I remember in grads, I have to start with kind of this term we call location of self. So I'm a licensed marriage family therapist. And I learned this term in grad school back in 2017 at Purdue, where they said, okay, you have to locate yourself knowing your privileges, what
Yep.
did all the identities that are marginalized or
Yeah.
historically oppressed, if you will.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I had the opposite effect, right, April? I actually had a lot of um, deep rooted connection as a Ghanaian American. So my
Yes.
mother is from Ghana, so
Hmm.
West Africa region near Nigeria. And I grew up with the food, the culture, the language, all those kind of things, right? That gave me a sense of pride, gave me a sense of
Mm.
belonging. that really resonated with me and helped me kind of feel grounded.
Yeah.
However, I also grew up as a black child in the South,
Right.
right? Where there's many folks from similar populations who we look, every skinful ain't your kinfolk, as we
Yep.
say, right? Who actually see as like, okay, I have a disconnect because of the historical oppression, racism, and all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not tied to my, I don't know that part of me, but because you're different from me, that's when,
Mm-hmm.
there's always that disconnect, that feeling of othering, if you
Mm-hmm.
will.
Yep.
And then I grew up in small town Kansas, right? So at that end, where, Midwest is very much about being meek, mild, quiet,
Yeah.
don't be too loud. Um, and that was always just kind of a hard journey, hard space because as a gunning American who's very rooted in like being jovial, loud,
Mm.
very family oriented, very education
Yeah.
oriented, right?
Yeah.
Those are I can locate myself, going back to that term, locate
Mm-hmm.
myself as a gunning American growing up in the Midwest with Midwestern and Southern roots, right?
Yep.
That was also deeply influenced by, um, you know, inferior and superior racialized inferiority going on.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. It feels like you're getting, oh gosh, these beautiful Ghanaian roots, but then you're getting kind of pulled away from that,
Hmm.
who you really are, what's really,
Hmm.
and I just think
Where do I
about
fit?
where do you
Yeah.
fit
Hmm.
exactly? And
Hmm.
that could have been really beautiful if you could live in that as an HSP, getting to feel your big joy and all of, I don't know
Hmm.
how emotions are viewed or sensitivity
Hmm.
is viewed, but I could just imagine you could take up some space maybe versus putting
Hmm.
yourself in this little tiny box.
Well, you bring up an interesting point, April. It was funny because it's
Yeah.
not that I was actually the quiet, sensitive, shy,
Yeah.
reserved.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she has a voice, but she's not using it. Always getting that as in the classroom,
Yep.
where my culture is the opposite. Again, loud, brazen, bold, all that kind of
Right.
thing. And I just wasn't able to like hone in on that, you
Yeah.
know? Or dare I say, being encouraged or supported
Mm. Mm-hmm. So you feel like
to.
you could have filled up that space.
Mhm,
Mm. What stops you? Is it being in the environment you're in? Is it family?
mhm,
Is it
mhm.
is it teachers in the classroom? What stops you?
Yeah,
If you're open to sharing that.
absolutely. When I look back at my experience, what always stopped me was um, I was almost discouraged to, I was encouraged to have a voice,
Mm-hmm.
but make sure it fits my voice. Make sure it fits, doesn't, because I was blunt as well.
Uh-huh.
So as an INFJ, the one percenters, everybody out there, autistic, whatever it is,
Yep.
right? I'm just like, okay, I had the capacity to, I had this deep internal world, really like getting lost in there, loving kind of the narratives and all that kind of stuff. But my emotions and my brain sometimes would just kind of feel like a scramble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so when teachers would see me zoning out,
Yep.
I was a good kid because I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't talking, right?
Yep. Yep.
Good, good. People pleasing, all that kind of stuff. My trauma responsive fawning,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Because guess what? There were some abandonment wounds, some rejection wounds that I experienced early on in my childhood.
Yeah.
That even just having a deep-rooted identity with being, being Gunnian wasn't enough
Mm-hmm.
to um, feel seen, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Makes total sense. The sensitive, quiet ones get labeled the good kid when
Hmm.
yes, we're quiet on the outside, but there's a storm happening inside, and
Hmm.
you need space for that and to be able to take those emotions somewhere for someone to check in. What's
Hmm.
happening in there,
Right, right,
right? What's going on under that quiet facade?
right,
And
right.
sometimes quiet, we're naturally quiet, but sometimes we're quiet because we're shut down.
True. I didn't know
And
the difference sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, it all looks the same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. And when you have a parent who's like not as present with their own emotions,
Mm-hmm.
because they got, single parent, got to take care of the kids, a household.
Yep.
I'm overwhelmed, but then I'm also like, you know, I, my kid is fine, right? I grew up
Right.
with my sister. They're playing in the room quietly, but I'm also like, I need to be outside in nature.
Mm-hmm. Right. You were needing things to feed your kind of sensitive soul, your INFJ
Right,
personality, right?
right. And
Yeah.
it was like few and far or inconsistent, you know?
Right. You're not getting that nourishment.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I didn't have the same experience at all, but I can resonate a lot with the, kind of quietly suffering or being the good one in the chaos and okay, we don't need to worry about you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's things that you need, right, to just kind of satisfy that depth and that connection
Hmm.
and like the strong emotionality. You also
Yeah.
said that you're blunt naturally, which I always get excited about. It's like, yes, HSPs can be blunt. We can be outspoken.
Yes, that was always I say it with jest and funny now,
Mm-hmm.
but growing up I heard that so much, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Angelique, she's great, she's nice, she's fun, and she can be really blunt.
Yeah.
But you say it in that like, sometimes you just kind of.
Ah.
So I would wear my emotions on my sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And again, my thought process was disjointed. Because think about it. I also
Mm-hmm.
grew up, I didn't tell you this, but I had German roots as well.
Mm-hmm.
So through transracial adoption, grandma, whatever,
Yeah.
she was, spoke different languages. So I had two people in my household whose first language wasn't English.
Right.
So the thought pattern, the connection.
Right. Yep, some disjointedness there.
So then my thought process was hard sometimes to say, what am I feeling versus what am I thinking? And I just would say it.
Yeah, you're trying to process it out loud, perhaps.
I was what they say, external processor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Just trying to put all the pieces together. But then I've heard this from a lot of HSPs, especially HSPs who come from cultures that are more outspoken, maybe more
Hmm.
extroverted,
Hmm.
where they feel like, oh, I can't be my sensitive self and be this maybe blunt, outspoken,
Hmm.
or external processor.
Hmm.
Like those pieces maybe
Hmm.
don't fit, even though they could
Hmm.
fit.
They could.
They
It's
could.
just it's every difference should be embraced as well
Mm-hmm.
as you should acknowledge. Like there's nothing wrong with the sense of healthy confrontation. That's a term I learned when I was taking the clinical exam, I want to say last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was very interesting. I was like, healthy confrontation. Like, what is that? That's what I thought I was doing with other people when they would
Yeah.
get in my space or I'm overloaded
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And then I'm like,
Sure.
I want to share with you, but then I didn't have any boundaries set up.
Ah, mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So then people
Mm-hmm.
get away with talking crazy, and then I
Right.
reach my limit and it goes out.
Mm-hmm.
But
What's
then I'm
different
seeing,
with
mhm.
like if you have a boundary set up, how does that become different for you? Just for folks who may not be familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how I look at it is like boundaries is kind of like your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fence around your house. And you have
Mm-hmm.
two different types of fences. Either you have a wooden fence where people can see, overlook, but they know not to get near,
Mm.
right? But there's a gate. The second one, there's a gate open, but there's no lock. Like anyone can come in anytime. It's there.
Yep.
Like a porous boundary, if you will. You allow the boundary to have you set the boundary, but you still let it happen. And then the
Right.
last one is just a fortress, this large, big thing that covers
Mm.
the whole house. No one can get in.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, how I would define boundaries is just knowing that this is me loving you and loving me at the same time.
Yes.
This is letting you know this is where I draw the line here.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I recognize that I can't be in the space. Like what you're saying, what you're doing to me is kind of affecting kind of our connection. And
Mm-hmm.
so this is me lovingly confronting you
Yes.
and letting you know that this is the fence. This is
Mm-hmm.
protected property, right?
Yeah, this is
And
it.
to ensure our friendship, coworker relationship, romantic relationship, whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's important to establish that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to shift those boundaries.
Yeah, they can change,
Hmm.
right? Person to person, moment to moment.
But they have to be established, and it's not the job of the person. Toxic people typically will feel entitled to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Adam Grant said that. He's a great IO psychologist
Love
online
Adam
that.
Grant. Yeah.
Mhm. And he said, toxic people typically feel entitled to ignore your boundaries, where healthy people know that they need to maintain the boundaries.
Right.
And that resonated with me as a HSP,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
recognizing like the space that I want to provide for others.
Right. Boundaries are just part of relationships,
Mhm.
right? I think some people will interpret them as distance or a problem, but it's really just keeping the relationship healthy,
Right.
balanced, right?
Balanced,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So, and we need to be able to confront people. I think HSPs struggle with that a lot. We're afraid of confrontation, of conflict.
Yeah, I was guilty of that, yeah.
Same. But I've
Hmm.
seen just how it actually strengthens a relationship. Because if you're
Right.
not fighting,
Right.
ooh, things are festering.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've had, quite the healing journey yourself, it sounds like, really reflecting
Yeah. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
your early years as a sensitive child and
Hmm.
adolescent, and then
Hmm.
bringing that into focus of what was going on and how the cultural
Hmm.
elements in which greatly influence our experience of sensitivity. So I'm
Right.
wondering, how does that influence you now supporting others?
I
Yes,
am
yeah.
just have the privilege and honor to be a mother of two beautiful children,
Mm,
and I'm a wife of a wonderful civil servant. So I'll
mm.
just keep it at that.
Yep.
He works for the city,
Hmm.
and we both have high stress jobs
Yeah.
in a sense of like, and also where we're at in our family life cycle, right? Of parenting two young kids under four,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm married to an introvert. I'm an introvert, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have put a lot, how I show up for others is making sure that I pour into myself at home.
Mm, mm-hmm.
This is me. I think about it as, and it's been off and on. Sometimes it's like I overextend myself, overfunction as it happens, because
Yep.
sometimes the body just does the body, does the
Yep.
thing, and sometimes it slows down. I had to learn the hard lesson, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how I show up for others is being able to pour a water can into myself like a plant, right? At home, right? I myself am an indoor plant. I need sunlight. Right, I need to be outside. I need to have oxygen, so
Yep.
breathing, right? Being
Mm-hmm.
present, being mindful, and creating a structure and environment at home where it's just safe to be.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you're growing up with two different homes, Louisiana here, Kansas there, this home is parented this way, this home's parented this way. You don't ever really
Mm.
have like a standard grounded, like, it's like growing up in a divorced family. Like there's
Right.
just different rules apply differently and you don't know what to expect? So I work
Yep.
with a lot of clients like that.
Mm-hmm. Who are
Right.
trying, who have been disjointed or trying to navigate two different worlds at the same time.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
very tough transition for an HSP.
And so, yeah, you're right. And so as
Mm-hmm.
far as like being a mother, like before I
Mm-hmm.
became a mom, I recognized like I have, heal first, start
Yep.
that healing journey.
Yep.
So then it's not harder for them to feel like they have to recover from childhood because childhood can be tough. It can be difficult, no matter
Yeah.
what the best intentions. Sometimes you just will make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can be open, right, to building upon the knowing that maybe there is some work that I need to do, the reparenting piece,
Yeah.
right?
For
Setting up
yourself.
structure for myself,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So then I can show up for my clients and not be burnt out and take it out on them, take it out on my family at home. Because
Yeah.
it's not fair, it's not right, it's not fair.
Right. I mean, childhood is inherently stressful. It's a lot
Hmm.
of development that's happening and kind of inner exploration, but you can create a stronger foundation for your kids than what you had, a grounded steadiness. Yeah. And so does this, I think this stems into your work with cycle breakers, would you say?
Yeah.
And could you tell folks a little bit about what that is? I think we've already alluded to it, but if we could define
Hmm.
it for folks who
Hmm.
maybe haven't heard that
Hmm.
term before.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So when we think about the term cycle breaker, it's being able to recognize that, and I just had brunch with a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, who said, um, it's not generational curses you're trying to break, it's in generational um, trauma, right?
Yeah.
The trauma wounds. It's you saying, it's it's someone saying, just because this happened to this person, this person, this person, doesn't mean it stops here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And full stop. And that means also literally. like undoing the work,
Hmm.
rewiring the brain,
Yep.
reestablishing a sense of clarity and connectedness to self, um, unapologetically.
Mm, love that. Yeah, it's like
Mhm,
I just think about just kind of just putting up a dam, right, and redirecting the river. Like we can go
mhm,
in a different
mhm,
direction from here. We don't
mhm,
have to continue these intergenerational patterns that we inherited.
mhm, mhm.
And so
Because that's
you're,
what it is, it's patterns,
it's
right?
patterns, yeah.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
as HSPs, we really thrive in understanding patterns. Dare I say, almost like because there wasn't like consistent patterns, it's like I have to fill in the gap and recognize, okay, like if you grew up in a home where it was chaotic and confusing and unpredictable, right? So somewhere along the way, you had to learn to like be aware of when daddy's mood is off,
Hmm.
right? Or
Yep.
be understanding of some tension there.
Hmm.
But now you're a grown person in your own house and you still feel keyed up and on edge. Maybe you didn't put pictures in the house because you don't feel like feel a connectedness to it.
Hmm.
But you can cycle breaking is not just this radical, do all the MDR sessions.
Right.
It helps. I'm not gonna lie, it
Sure.
will accelerate.
Right. Yeah.
But
But
it's
it's
just
not it. It's not everything.
it's not everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
You bring up a good point. Like if you grew up feeling on edge, scared, have to be hyper vigilant to whatever's happening and read the room at all times, yeah, that doesn't just fade away as soon as you move into your own space. You're carrying those ghosts with you.
Mhm.
And gosh, even just the piece about hanging up the pictures. I remember reading this. There's a book about the nervous system. It was like people that grew up in those conditions, we just don't know how to live. That resonated with me a lot. Like, yeah, not doing
Mhm.
simple things like settling into a space, hanging up a photo because what if you have to leave soon or
Yep.
you're kind of on edge.
Yep.
But that can change. Doing the
Mhm.
work and yeah, giving yourself permission to, or maybe acknowledging that you're safe in your own home. But
Acknowledging, right? But
right,
you have to understand, define safety, define
right,
security.
right. Different for
And I
everybody.
really want to talk about this. This is very important to
Okay,
me
great.
because that's
Yeah.
Taylor Tomlinson, this amazing comedian, female
Uh,
comedian, like in her mid-20s. I'm sure people know from the audience. She talked about how the 20s are you're expected to fuck up. Like
yeah.
people expect you to mess up, fuck up. And
Yep.
so that resonated with me in the saying like, okay, so I had permission, like looking back in my 20s,
Yeah.
looking like doing all the things, like
Mm-hmm.
going out to clubs when I don't knew it, that's not my style. Like that
Right.
was a very sensory overload, living with roommates when I don't like living with people I don't really genuinely care about. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the blunt me saying, like, I just don't. I
Yeah.
have I have this allergic reaction to being in an environment where it's too loud, too smelly, too many people, and yet I just kept going
Yeah. What
and
you're
trying to
supposed to do.
you're supposed to do. The fear FOMO was real, right?
Yep.
And at the same time, it was input, learning input, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, your frontal lobe ain't lobing.
Yep. Not yet.
So it was like, yes, I wish someone would have told me, like, I expect you to make mistakes and fuck up and learn
Mm.
along the way, but then don't make too big of a mistake,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Because redirect the path, right? It's just this
Yep.
way. But
Yeah, you don't
I
have the privilege to mess up so much. Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just always all gas, no tank, all
Mm.
gas, no brakes, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
In my 20s, and I just recognized like I have to just slow down, be intentional,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that looks like defining what security, stability looks like, redefining it for myself. And some folks who might be listening might be saying, well, what does she mean by that?
Yeah.
I get that because you're like, go ChatGPT and you're like, security is this.
Right. Right. You could there's a standard definition, but yeah, it's different. How would you be able to share maybe one example of what security means for you?
Yeah, I
See
think
folks
it's,
an idea?
yeah. I would say an example of that for myself, how it presents is like being able to say, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm okay.
Yeah, wow. And that's true. Maybe it wasn't before. Hmm.
Buddhist principle would say, yes, no, maybe. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know why things happen the way they do. Yes,
Yeah.
maybe there's a reason. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And there's this really great Japanese author. I don't got the name, but he wrote a lot on the male loneliness pandemic way back in the epidemic, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
back in the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And he said pain is inevitable, suffering is optional.
Oh, Thich Nhat Hanh?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes.
And that resonated with me so much because cycle breaking is saying the life is of pain
Mm.
and is inevitable,
Yeah.
right? The suffering, the internal struggles, the not recognizing that you need a release and to let go of guilt and understand that what happened as a kid was not okay, right?
Yeah.
Or that maybe the adults in your life didn't have what they needed to make sure that you're okay, safe,
Right.
secure. But you get to do that work now,
Not too late.
not too late. And it just starts by just having the courage to still live a life worth living,
Yeah.
you know?
That's hopeful. Like, even if it was hard before,
Mm-hmm.
it was hard yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
you still have time to find that safety, to say to yourself, I'm okay. I'm safe here, even if I wasn't safe then. Yeah. Whew, yeah. It's powerful. It really
It's just as
is.
simple as saying, like, because when you ask me, like, security, because I'm still on that journey of, like, okay,
Sure.
I know that if I can say, there's little me saying, am I okay? And big me saying, you are, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
The four therapeutic powers of play says, I am here, I see you, I feel you, I see you. Or,
Beautiful.
like, so those are the things. I
That's
see you, I hear
beautiful.
you, I feel you, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Say
what play
this
is about.
to
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess as an adult, you could say it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But as a play therapist, are you saying it to the kiddos you're working
Yes,
with?
yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yep, yep,
Yes.
yep,
I love
yep.
that. So I'm here. I see you. Yeah, I'm safe.
I
Yeah,
am here.
I am here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so simple but so powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it's a starting to rewire those messages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reframe the messages,
Mm-hmm.
rewire your brain
Mm-hmm.
towards safety.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your work as a play therapist and as a parent, I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious, what practices do you bring in for the adults in those scenarios? So, you use a lot of mindfulness, grounding practices. You mentioned kind of finding that safe, grounded space at home.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? Like, what are some of those
As
practices?
oh yeah, as far as with my
Yeah,
clients
or yourself.
or myself, yeah.
So, if for the sensitive cycle breakers out there who are wondering, what are the practices that I'm talking to myself
Yes, yeah.
differently, but are there other things that I'm bringing in?
Oh, beautiful question. Um, it's practical, but I'll go back to my
Mm-hmm.
earlier thing of like treat yourself like a indoor plant,
Love this
right?
metaphor.
Or outdoor plant, you know? What do
Yeah.
they need? They need
Oh.
lots of sunlight, so you need vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
Drink water, right? Making this is basic, but it's just those things, right?
Yeah.
Grounded, go outside. That's what I like to do. I like to walk outside and feel my feet on the
Mm-hmm.
earth
Yep.
to feel a sense of like connected to my ancestors, right?
Mm-hmm.
The soil that they were on and being giving thanks and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
As well as just kind of walking. So movement is medicine, nature
Yes.
is medicine, right? And then being able to eat a nourishing meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like I'm being more mindful of like anti-inflammatory diet, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, eating all the stuff that's colorful on my plate, that's healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, just and I think
Mm-hmm.
tuning in
Mm-hmm.
to what I need. What is it that I need right now? So for example, me having this conversation with you is very nourishing for me, right?
Mhm.
Because it's my way of I'm able to connect to someone without having to over explain or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be.
Hmm.
I set the space up, for this
Yeah.
because it was an intention. It was an act.
Mm.
I wanted to make sure like
Yeah.
these are the gun, these two things behind me are actually, if you can see here. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be able to see, but um they're my what do you call it? From the Akan tribe. That's from where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother got this from when she visited Ghana like 30 years ago. And they are kente cloth.
Mm.
So her grandmother wore this, and so this is what's behind me to keep me rooted and grounded. And then in the middle
Oh.
is my family, a multicultural family, me being married to an expat,
Mm-hmm.
my mom, my Ghanaian, my British family, all the things.
Oh,
So
that's so beautiful. I mean, these are your roots there in
mhm,
physical form.
mhm,
So important to have those symbols, those
mhm,
connection points.
mhm.
And
Yep.
I appreciate what you're saying about these pieces that are medicine because I think if you
Mhm.
grew up in more of a chaotic or traumatic environment,
Yeah.
I know from my own experience, those simple things were hard
Hmm.
or they didn't get to
Hard to
take up
come by.
space, hard to
Right.
come by.
Hmm.
So even just saying, what do I need now is kind of a
Hmm.
revelation. Because
Yeah,
that was a luxury
it
growing up.
was. Right. Right.
So
What do I
we have to
need
get back.
now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do I not deserve? What do I have to earn?
Mm.
My body is giving me signals and telling me,
Yeah.
right, that it's as simple as me lighting an incense. I remember in grad school, when I just started getting on the term of like self-care because, it's just all the things, stress. And if you
Yep.
already come from a stress environment, you're like, okay, I'm just thrown into it. But
Right.
but I was like, okay, I actually need to like shift the gears here and understand what does that mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was making smoothies every day or being able to, someone told me once, like my roommate, she said like my, I treated my room like a temple.
Mm.
Which was like interesting because I was like, what do you mean by that? Because I would light my incense, right? Grounding practice, look at the smoke, let it dissipate, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Read a book, low lights,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, Light a candle, love white lighting candles, right? The Himalayan salt, just
Oh
kind of,
yeah.
even just my eyes able to see like, okay, this is soft
Mm-hmm.
and it's helping me re-engage into my senses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
having my
so
water on the
important.
side.
Yeah, I love this. Just the intentionality, taking care of your senses, your nervous system. But deeper than that, right? Having the rituals.
The rich.
Yeah.
Oh, if I had to go back, I love that. Stability is struct routines, rituals.
Mm. Yes. Routines and ritual structure.
Routines and rituals. Rituals is not something that's like evil or, whatever, some voodoo
Right.
stuff, right?
Exactly.
It's just this consistent routine
Mm-hmm.
that allows me to pour into myself,
That's it.
right? That regulates my nervous system.
That's it. I mean, I think people get scared away by that term ritual, but it is. It's
Right,
just these,
right.
it's traditions, it's practices, right? It's the things that you
Mhm.
do regularly for yourself or bringing that intentionality, bringing some sacred energy, something we need that as
We
humans
do.
and especially sensitive humans,
Right.
something beyond ourselves.
Sensitive souls.
Yeah, exactly. We need something to pour into those souls.
Yeah.
This feels like you maybe had that in you all along. It's just
Mhm.
tapping into it more.
Yeah. It was always in me. I just, you know, just be honest, like I just never really tapped into it because of just something else. Someone else needed something from me.
Mm-hmm.
Their needs was more important than mine, or this is how I can get love, or this is how I can kind of secure,
Mm-hmm.
something. But I recognize like I can't, I keep pouring from an empty cup.
Yeah, I think,
And
yeah, you get to that point where you just realize I can't do that anymore. I'm at the bottom.
and let's call it what it is. As a black woman in America, you know what
Yep.
I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right, you're beyond empty.
Hmm.
Generations of emptiness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so living my soft girl life, romanticizing my life,
Yeah.
those are things that my sisters and I have been talking about
Mm-hmm.
lately because I do Marco Polo every day with my best friend because she lives
Love
out in
that.
DC.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is routine, structure, ritual that really helps me feel grounded and connected.
Yes.
Being able to talk, verbally process out loud,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just knowing that driving helps me kind of just regulate as well.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing that I am the work because we are the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do this work because I am contributing to this community by helping little ones have a voice, have a space,
Yeah.
feel connected, helping parents as they're parenting,
Mm-hmm.
right? Helping adults who haven't even heard the term rest and rejuvenation relaxed, or knowing that they're at burnout,
Mm-hmm.
they're at the danger of just crashing out.
Yeah.
And they're like, I need a space to, like, I love when clients come and say, like, I just need a space to deeply reflect, like, what's going on, just a space to be, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I
Somewhere
think
to be
therapy is
held.
that. Yes, to be
Mm-hmm.
held. My feelings can be held softly and can be
Yeah.
seen with gentle and
Mm-hmm.
tenderness that we all deserve.
Yeah, and creating that safe space somewhere. That could be the first safe space, the therapy room,
Hmm.
potentially.
Hmm.
And I just want to go back to something you said, which is really important, which is you don't have to earn those spaces. You don't have to earn that self care.
Hmm.
And yeah, you can start here. So you're cycle breaking for yourself, for your family, with your
Hmm.
kids.
Hmm.
You're helping others cycle break,
Hmm.
learn to reparent themselves,
Hmm.
parent their own children differently than they were parented.
Noticing and understanding and leaning with curiosity
Mm-hmm.
about it, not with judgment, just with curiosity.
What's important about being curious,
Mhm.
not judgmental?
Curiosity offers a sense of freedom and liberation in the sense of because we're all born with it.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are naturally childlike, curious. I love when kids ask why, because
Yeah.
that's a kid who's seeking and understanding their world and trying to get input. And when you look at it from a judgment place, like, why me? Why this? Right?
Mm.
You're putting an unhealthy amount of guilt,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're putting this unrealistic expectation on yourself to have like understood everything
Right.
that happened to you. Now, it's not why that happened, what happened, right? As
Mm.
Dr. Bruce
Mm-hmm.
Perry talked about with Oprah and stuff. But curiosity that's been something that's been a strength of mine, Like uh, dare I say, a value.
Value, yeah. I mean, makes sense, right? Something that
Hmm.
you hold in esteem.
Hmm.
And yeah, instead of criticizing, we can be curious. What
Hmm.
do I need?
Hmm.
What happened to me? It's
Hmm.
softer.
It's softer.
Mm-hmm.
It's again the reparenting, the cycle breaking process is being able to talk to your inner child
Mm-hmm.
and say, I know you're scared. I know you're not understanding why your brain is sending signals to your body to say these things all the time. And now I am the adult to say, it's okay. And I get it. And you're right to feel scared.
Mm.
And you're right to be questioning. Why is this happening? What's going on? And you didn't deserve it, and you don't deserve it. But let's softly walk away, right? Play with the toy, connect with me, right?
Wow.
And be seen.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so powerful. Just hear have you say that to me every day.
Honestly, for my mission in life is to like love to help others feel seen, loved, and supported. If I had to just be real blunt with you and be like, okay,
Please.
the niche and stuff, it's like I help people break like no. I want
Yeah.
people to feel loved, seen, supported, and
Mm-hmm.
if this is their first time not feeling it, I want to be able to offer a space that's
Mm-hmm.
warm, inviting, curious,
Yeah.
kind,
Mm-hmm.
So then it can allow your body and your brain to say, okay, perhaps I could
Yeah.
lean into being softer to myself.
Yeah.
Perhaps I didn't deserve what happened, even though the narrative is saying these things.
Mhm.
And maybe I could also rewrite the story. Maybe look at the generational gifts I got versus the generational trauma.
Mhm.
It's a both.
Yeah.
I came from a highly structured, matriarchal, beautiful home. No matter what was going on, I came from a matriarchal, highly independent, amazing women who poured love into us the best way they can with what they
Mhm.
had, right?
Yeah.
And still showed up,
Yeah.
full stop, right?
Still showed up.
And I'm doing that for my kids, and it's going to look different.
Mhm.
And they may say, there was things I wish you could have done different. And I have to be open to that. I'm open and curious to that. I don't have to like it,
Right.
but I know it's going to happen. If they're going to be in somebody's therapist's office, I'm like, well, at least they can say was I had a too good childhood. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Slip the other way.
Yeah, my mom was too understanding. Sometimes I wish. But anyway,
But
I can
even,
talk. I can ramble.
oh no, this is beautiful. I mean, but even in all, in the change, it seems like you're holding those roots, those values in place in a different
In
package,
a different
which
package.
is
Yep.
really beautiful. Like, and just a reminder that it's not all bad.
Mm-mm.
We can look at the nuance, which I know is hard,
Hmm.
can take a long time to do that.
It does. Yeah.
But there's maybe some nuggets in there that you want to keep.
Mhm.
But yeah, change the narrative, change the packaging. Yeah.
Anger
Yeah.
a long time clouded my um, anger, resentment, frustration, and just injustices. Because when you're HSP, you have a high sensitivity to any injustice, all
Yep.
injustices.
Mm-hmm.
And when for a long time, if you've been that vocal, outspoken child who's also highly sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
but always put the kibosh on, you know,
Yep.
at some point you just kind of like, I was so, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the biggest thing my biggest takeaway was like, I don't like everybody. Everybody don't gotta like me.
That's right.
Why am I people pleasing for people who's gonna people all over you? Okay?
Yes.
Like, maybe I should start doing the opposite. Like, I was just tired of like people
Yeah.
pleasing, fawning, not making sure mints of my words or like blunt
Yep.
and have to say sorry and feeling bad all the time. And I just
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, let me just try the other thing of like,
Yep.
what if I like me and that's enough?
Mm-hmm.
I like who I am as I am.
That's it. Because if you like yourself, everything else is going to be okay.
It's gonna be okay. But for a long
Right?
time, I didn't think I could, or I
Yeah.
should, or there's something to fix before I can like myself. And I'm like, no, I am fine the way I am. I'm a good friend,
Mm-hmm.
wife, everything like that, mother. I try my best. I'm willing to.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. I'm willing to accept fault when fault is there.
That's important.
And then also know that if I'm asking questions like, am I a good parent? That just the fact that I'm asking that
That's
is already
that's it. When if you're asking those questions, you already know that everything's gonna be okay. It's when you're not asking the questions that you're in a dangerous spot,
right.
right? When it's not even on your radar.
Right.
Um, well, Angelique, we have to start to wrap up, but this has been it's been such a good conversation. I feel like I've known you for years.
Same, really. Yeah.
Truly, I'm wondering if there's any final messages you have for the listeners who are sensitive cycle breakers themselves.
Yes. Um, you're worthy of the love that you give to others.
Hmm, that's it.
So go ahead and take care of yourself
Hmm.
and know that you don't have to have it all figured out. Be curious, love others, love yourself, and be kind to your mind.
Mm, thank you for that. It's such a
You're
good
welcome.
reminder that you can send that empathy back in and you can
Mhm.
start today. Thank you for that.
You're
So,
welcome.
for anyone who wants to work with you, which I highly recommend, I'll share all of your resources in the show notes, your website, your social media. You
Mm,
often teach workshops, so folks can find those there,
that's right.
which I'm excited to be able to
Virtual
share with
workshops.
folks. Virtual workshops, thank you.
Hmm.
So, anywhere in the world.
Yep.
Beautiful. Love that. And so, can you tell listeners a little bit more about working with you if they're interested in coming to see you for therapy or
Yes.
engaging with your other offerings?
Absolutely. So I offer individual therapy for adults. I will do play therapy for kiddos from 3 to 11, as well as starting to see teens.
Wonderful.
Yep. And the best way you can get to me, obviously, if you live in Kansas or Missouri, because I'm licensed there, that'd be great. Um, but I also offer virtual coaching workshops
Beautiful.
or coaching sessions for those who live out of state, to talk about, caregiving. If you're caregiving for an older adult or a child and you just want a space to kind of talk and
Mm,
connect, you can do virtual that way. And then I'm located in the Midwest, Midtown Westport area in Kansas City, and opening for practice. So please feel free to visit the website. I also do speaking engagements. Happy to talk
beautiful.
to your school, your retreat, your corporate retreats,
Mm-hmm.
to
I
talk about creativity and play therapy.
I love it. So, I mean, so many beautiful offerings folks can tap into because, yeah, if you're caregiving, if you're trying to navigate some of these pieces, it's helpful to have a space with someone who gets it.
Absolutely. You're
Mm-hmm.
not alone,
You're not
even if
alone.
it feels alone. It's very isolative being a caregiver.
It
Hmm.
is.
It can
Absolutely.
be. So
Yeah.
just have a space to dedicate it to talk about all the things.
Yeah. And you can create a safe space for them.
That's right.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much.